In this next video, we're going to be starting to create our walls. I cheated a little bit. I already in my documentation under naming components in the Revit architect project, I already named them. And the reason is that I named them is so that you could see how to do it. But in here, I'm going to be starting with my ground floor. So I'm going to be using my walls, and I have a 468 millimeter wall. Because I'm drawing outline, or I received an outline proposal and actually am drawing my project proposal right now. This is to be at an information level 2. So I'm going to be naming it G for generic, 21 as the SFB system, 01 as the serial number, and 468 for the thickness of the component. So I'm going to go ahead up to architecture. I'm going to choose my wall. Under wall, I'm going to be choosing a generic wall. Do not change the walls that are originally based in the project, but say edit type. And in edit type, I want you to do a duplicate. And this duplicate, we're going to be calling it G for the generic, and it was 21, and then it's 01 because it's the first one, and it's a 468 wall. Press OK to that, and it should change up here in a little bit. Like that. Press edit here then, and change the thickness in here to 468 instead. Press OK, and you are actually ready. One thing you should notice though is under function, it should be an exterior wall or an interior or foundation or retaining or soffit, depending on what you're using it for. So I'm going to say OK to that. And then up here I get some options under my option menu. I can say the height or the depth. I'm going to be choosing height. Yeah, okay. Up here I'm going to say that it's going to be going from my ground floor. That's the floor that I'm on right now. I want it to go up to my first floor. So once I pick my first floor, the elevation lines that we did in the former videos is actually what it's using to run by right now. What I want to do is I want to use the finished face interior like this, because I'm going to be placing or offsetting my wall by what is going to be 54 millimeters. What I'm going to be doing is then I'm going to be choosing the area where it's going to be drawn at, and in this in this one, it's going to be placed here on the 2 and the H. It was supposed to be minus, my bad. And it's going to be up to there. And I'm just simply going to click on the destinations where it's going to be placed at. And this one is actually supposed to go all the way over to 3 like that. That was the first one. Then I got one running from 4. And it's supposed to run all the way over here now to 11, like this. Again out to here. And it's going to be running all the way over to 10. Like that. And the reason that I'm not just drawing one continuously is because there's going to be a different type of wall here. So again, it runs from 7, and it runs all the way over to 4, like that. Escape. And then I need to do a new wall, so I'm going to be saying wall again, and you could simply just use this wall right now. You could say edit type, create a duplicate from that one, and the wall that I'm going to be using now is it's the same thickness, but it's just another type. So I'm going to give it a serial number like that, 02, but still 468. I'm going to click OK. And this one needs to start at the one called A5. So again, minus 54, A5 like that. And it goes all the way out to 12. It goes all the way down to C. And it returns up here. And I could just go up and click like this, but you could also use the shortcut set and then left click. It's kind of nice to know that you have the option if there's something that you need to snap and it's far away, then S set and then left click and it's there. That was that wall. Then I need to do the next wall, and the next wall is going to be my wall that I'm going to be placing between these two buildings. And what I'm going to be doing again, I'm going to go in and say edit type over here. I'm going to create a duplicate, and this wall is going to be number 3, and it's going to have a thickness that's going to be called 424, like that. Okay, to that, press edit. In here, change the thickness to 424. Okay, and again, I want it to offset, and this wall is going to be placed in number 8. So from here over to there, like that. And I'm going to be doing the same thing on the opposite side, like that and like that. Now the building is actually starting to have a shape. What I'm going to be doing now is I need another wall type, and this wall type is going to be the one that's going to be based in these openings over here. So edit type, duplicate, and this is going to be number 4. And actually this wall has the same thickness as the other one, 424. So okay, and okay to that. This one is also going to be offset with 24, so, or sorry, by minus 54. So finish face interior, click on that edge, go up to here, go over to this one and down to that one, like that. I'm going to be doing the same thing over here. Click on this one, go to that one, over here, and click there, like that. That one to here, to over there, and click on it like that. This was my ground floor. Now I'm going to continue, and I'm going to do the same thing on my first floor. So pick your first floor, and over here I can see the ground floor. And the reason that I can see the ground floor is because over here in my project, not project browser, but my properties, I have what's called an underlay. If I click under underlay, I can place it to none, and then the building would disappear. But right now it's kind of neat to have it, so I'm going to place my ground floor once more, and I'm going to be doing the same thing on my ground floor, or sorry, the same thing as I did on my ground floor, except I'm not going to be doing anything in this area. So I'm going to go up to my walls, and once in a while it asks you if you want to save the project. Go ahead and just save it. And the wall type that I need is actually the wall that was called the G2101 dot or underline 468. That was the first wall. And again, I need it to say minus 54, the finish face interior, and I'm just going to click on it there to this edge. I'm going to jump over to this side and go all the way down to the end, all the way down to this end. Oh, I did an arrow. It was supposed to go all the way down to this point. So I pressed escape twice, and I'm just going to drag it down to the line like that. I can right click, say create similar to continue with this wall, and remember to offset it again by -54, and just continue like this. Click here to there. Escape, and now I am gonna choose the wall that's supposed to be here, and those were they're gonna be wooden walls, so that was the 4. Again, -54, and I'm gonna be placing cursor here to there. Escape and continue up here and do the same thing. I'm then gonna go over here and do the last one. And some people are kind of annoyed when they look at the lines because they're so thick that you're actually having a hard time looking at them. The way you could change them is actually by going up under view, and you have one here that's called thin lines. Once I click thin lines, the lines actually become thin, but the reason is thin lines, or the shortcut TL, this actually shows you the line width of how it's going to be, the thickness, when you actually print your project. So if you have TL or thin lines activated, this doesn't give you the true view. TL off shows you how it's going to be. So this was my ground floor and first floor. I'm going to be moving down to the basement now. And in my basement, I need to draw the basement's walls. What I could do is, again, use the ground floor to actually show where is it the basement's going to be. I know that my basement is, if I find the right drawings, my basement's going to be in this area. So what I need to do is I'm going to be saying architecture wall, and in my walls I need to create a new wall, and I already gave it a number. So the number, by saying edit type duplicate, the number, instead of erasing everything, it's 12. Then it has a 01, and the thickness of it is 450. Okay, to that, edit the type and change it to 450 in here. Press OK and OK. This wall is supposed to go from the ground or the basement up to my ground floor like that, and then it gives me the height of it. Again, the interior wall or finished face interior is where I'm going to be placing it. It's going to be -54, and I'm going to start at this corner. I'm going to drag it down to here like that. I'm going to say to this area. Again, escape once because I'm going to skip that area where I have my add-on, and it's to go all the way to the grid line 6. And instead of just dragging it over here, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to go up to this side, click on it here, and just go to there. And I'm going to continue on the other side, and I'm going to finish it like that. So I have a basement that looks kind of odd right now, but the reason is this foundation and the foundations over here are going to be different types. So I'm going to be going ahead and creating a new wall. So I'm going to say wall, duplicate, or edit type, sorry, duplicate, and this wall or foundation is going to be what's it going to be? It's because I just realized I actually made a mistake. So I'm just going to cancel this, cancel this. This wall type here, that doesn't have an SFB number 12. That's actually an SFB number, so I'm just going to say rename, and this is actually a wall. And this isn't number 1 then, because there's already a number 1. It's actually number 5, like that. We already did 4 previous. So okay and okay. So we corrected the arrow before anything occurred. What we need to do now is we have more walls. We have a wall over here. So I'm going to go up to wall, edit type, duplicate, and this wall is going to be a 6. And it's going to be 300, like this. Okay. And okay. And instead of using the finish face, I'm going to be using the wall center line, like that. And I'm going to be saying from here to over there, like that. Now I just need to do it over here. But this one, oh, you know what? We're just gonna, no, we're gonna use this. We need to create a wall over here. So that wall, I'm gonna say wall, edit type. I'm gonna be saying duplicate, and this duplicate here, it needs to have a number, and we're gonna give this one number, we're gonna give it number 7 because we already had the others. And this needs to have a thickness that is, let me see, what is the wall? Needs to have a thickness of 900 or 390, like that. Okay, change it to 390. Okay, like that. Okay. Again, we're gonna offset this with -54, not the wall center line, but actually the finish face interior. I'm gonna be clicking right here, and I'm gonna be placing it like that because I want this, and we're gonna correct that in a minute, like so. I want these two to be joined. I can use the command modify and then trim extend corner, or the shortcut TR, choose this one and choose the other, like that, and then they connect. What I did an arrow up here is I actually want this one to go a little bit back, but this wall, if you notice, the wall above it was a 468 and I just did a 390. So actually this wall would be removed and I would need this wall. But instead of deleting it, I'm going to undo that command. I could just choose this wall and go back up in here in my properties type selector, and I could say, okay, which type of wall is it? It's the 450, like that, and the wall would actually extend like that. What I then needed to do was I want it to be aligned with the back end, so I would press align up here or use AL on the shortcut or the keyboard, press the back line and press this line, and it would jump up. If I press TL so you can see thin lines, now I would actually have some air here, and that's the same air that I'm going to be using with my bricks. So that's how it's going to be. Then I need one over here. with this foundation, and the wall thickness over here, just let me check my papers, is a 424. So it's the same as this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to choose this. I'm going to create similar. I'm going to say offset it by -54, finish face interior. I'm going to click on this one out to here, and I missed it. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to undo is control set. I'm going to pick it there again up to this one. I'm going to that edge and that edge like that. So if I look at my project now in 3D, and you do that by looking up here, the default 3D view, I now have my buildings that consist of the basement, my ground floor, and my foundation, and my first floor. The last thing I need to do is, again, down in my, perhaps not basement, but that's my foundation. And to create my foundation, I need to do a new grid line. So what I'm going to be doing is, in the next video, we're going to create a new grid line and we're going to place our foundation. I hope you can use this video for some help, and thanks for watching.